Okay, y'all. I am a bit tired and hot, but I am coming for you today because I don't want to be late. So we are on season 1, episode 6. Anthony and Brandon are still having a conversation. And what I found most interesting of this interaction is how much Brandon is willing to sit back and let other people speak up for him. I'm trying to figure this out because I let me pause and say I'm not sure why Christina's there. Why did you feel the need to bring Christina to sit and have a conversation with um with Anthony? What was the purpose? And the whole comment that they feel like Latoya and Anthony jump on the bandwagon and that she doesn't believe that Brandon saying that Kobe is a Kobe cat is disloyal. Whereas Anthony is like, if you're willing to go out this way and speak this way about Russell's wife and address her this way, then you're not a loyal person and not a loyal friend. And that means that you're willing to snake us too. The problem I struggle with Christina, and I said it last time and I'll say it again. She is okay with being mishandled. And she is okay. And when in the next episode, she's supposed to talk about how she doesn't feel protected in her marriage. Yeah. You know how you really realize that you're not protected in your marriage is because you see other people's interact, how other husbands do not allow their wives to be mishandled this way. I'm gonna be honest. And I said this last time. I don't have a friend, and I've never had a friend, male friend. I've never had an uncle. I've never had a a boyfriend. I've never had someone that I dated longer term, may not have had a name on it, but were dating. I've never had a husband who would have been okay with anyone speaking to Christina, speaking to me in the way that Brandon allows other people to speak to Christina, other men speak to Christina. And even recent, when my husband, even when he, my husband, when he gets into a situation where there's a woman who may want to say something that he knows that he doesn't want to go at her as aggressively, he will walk away. And it did hurt his interaction of how he handled it and walking away did bother the other woman. And I, instead of getting him to, whatever, I would interject and stand in front of him because I don't want him to, he doesn't talk to me crazy, even in anger. So I'm definitely not wanting him to even get triggered to a point where she, where he would think that talking, but he always has a sense of control. So he will walk away. And this is what I don't understand about Brandon is that his level of protecting means heightened, and he doesn't seem to have a relationship with his wife that he has zero instinct to protect, whereas she's up here getting going back and forth with Anthony in a way that to protect her husband, which I can understand the temptation in protecting her husband. So this is so you know what you do? You don't go. Years ago, my friend was dating a guy, and she eventually married him, and she got upset with me when I said this. We made up, but I really didn't want to upset her. But women, we have an innate nature of overprotecting the person that we're with. And so it's not that I don't understand what Christina is doing, it's just that I don't agree with it. And again, Brandon should have stepped up and been like, this is a conversation between me and him, and you don't need to be there, because Latoya's not going to be there. So because Latoya's not going to be there, you don't need to be here. So, and if you saw Latoya not going to be there, you could be like, okay, Christina, get back in the car. Or Christina, because there's going to be a temptation that you're going to, and let us just deal with it. Right? Let us just deal with it. Because Brandon is going to let other people speak up for him, male or female. He does not speak up for himself. And I don't like Brandon at all. Like, I actually, the more each episode makes me like him less and less, because he, at least with Anthony, even if he's loud and wrong, he's consistent. And Brandon is loud and wrong and changes his story multiple times. So I don't like how Brandon and Christina roll at all. And so Brandon feels that Anthony's trying to cut him out of his own showcase. And so Anthony feels that Christina's trying to manipulate the conversation. And Christina's like, yeah, I don't really want to be friends with people who are like this and feel, who will go about things this way. So it seems like they're at a mutual space where they may not be friends with each other. I don't see it, but I also see that they're trying to kind of always bring each other together, i.e. the Bible study. I have never been to a Bible study where we get into a fight. But I guess. Latoya and Anthony talk. Latoya is like, they're supposed to be friends, Kobe and Christina. And Christina still hasn't called her to even wish her a happy birthday. Anthony feels like there's been many accusations that have been made and doesn't really think um really doesn't I don't know how much Russell's situation plays that much of a role, but I do think that Latoya, they are struggling with the fact that they feel that Latoya, uh Brandon and Christina think that Latoya is taking a side, and Latoya is on the side of, I don't like drama. I don't like getting into altercations every single time we're out and about. And that's a legit concern. And so Russell and Kobe are together, and Russell's like, yeah, I'm gonna talk. So I'm about to head over to the gym and we're gonna talk what the deal. So Kobe's like, are you really about to sit here and have a deal? And honestly, Kobe's whole thing is, I want more communication. Kobe eventually talks to Brittany, and this conversation is like, he keeps trying to make all these big purchases and not even have a conversation like buy a car, have these business deals. I have to admit, Lo, the buying the car thing, I think I've included my husband in buying a car once. I have bought cars. He knows that I'm about to buy a car, but he hadn't been involved in all of the car decision making. So I have to admit that, and I've also did make business decisions necessarily. I've talked to him about it, but he doesn't necessarily is the deciding factor in deciding on not. I have to admit that the two of us really do not stand in each other's way when it comes to business decisions. Um, but I do think that if it's something this large where you're having to take a mortgage, then and if your business affects my life, like if you expect me to be there full time and then I have to stop doing other stuff because I'm supposed to be at the gym managing your front desk and like you actually want me working, then I think you definitely do need to have a conversation with me before you just make these kind of decisions. So I get that. So this whole Brittany thing, um, oh, that wasn't Brittany. It was that was a conversation between Kobe and Chelsea. I'm sorry, I got Brittany. I mean, Kobe and Chelsea were talking about that. Chelsea was surprised that Christina and Brandon were uninvited. Okay, Brandon and Christina. So Brandon decides to invite Christina in to help the showcase and literally said that I'm using her as a buffer because she can go and have conversations with people. And I was just like, Brandon, man up, man up. You actually want me to be the one to stand and have conversations with supposedly your friends, your male friends? Like, I just don't see this happening. Like, I would not go into business with a female, like one of my good friends, even male or female, and then expect my husband to come in and be the buffer to have conversations with them that I can't have. I'm sorry, like I'm gonna need you to get some pants because I wouldn't do that with Henry. With Henry, I wouldn't be like, "Oh yes, let me." He gonna bring me in so I can go have conversations with his friends when business goes awry. Like I'm gonna pick up the phone and call them up and be like, "So this didn't happen. This didn't happen." Really though? No, man up. Like I'm sorry. So he's telling her that Anthony has 3 out of the 20 slots he's able to give Brandon for his artist. So then they're doing this kind of shady fest back together. Well, what does Anthony does? Does he have artists? Does he have this? Does he have that? And then they all like, well, I don't really know what he does. Okay. So you've known him for over 10 years. This is your guy, but you don't know what he does for a living. Now, that leads us to Brittany and Christina. She texted Anthony. Okay, so they addressed this conversation where Brittany tells Christina that her and Anthony were talking, and Anthony tells, no, she tells Anthony that, she's going to be working with Christina and Brandon. No, with Christina. And he's like, "Are you sure?" Because he don't really rock with you like that. And um, and then so she was like, "Well, do you think that it would be okay if I talk to Christina about what you said?" And he was like, "Sure, go ahead." Christina claimed she didn't know that Anthony and Latoya were their clients. I don't know if I believe this. Um, this Bible study gets crunk. So I didn't know people get into fights at Bible study. Maybe, and how about the fact that Brandon don't even have a Bible? So y'all been going to Bible study, and dude don't have a Bible. Okay, I mean, you can't access the Bible on an iPad. So it's not like, or on your phone. So it's technically you don't need a Bible, but I mean, the fact that you had to tell us that you're borrowing um the fact that you have to tell us that you're borrowing your wife's Bible is kind of Lord help. Like, I mean, seriously, this is I find I know that we're supposed to be a little bit more open-minded here, but no. Um sorry. Anyway, I am horrible for responding to email. People are trying to email me and hit me up about their grades and stuff like that. And it's like the moment is over. Okay, class is over. So, um, yeah. Okay, so it's Russell, Brandon, Anthony, and Bravo. So Russell opens us up by trying to make up with Brandon by saying that, he's thought about it. He thought that this is not a good idea about their conversation that they had, and he wants to come together now and to apologize. Calmer emotions has emerged, so they make up. And then he begins to bring up about how Christina calls Russell to say what Anthony has said to Brittany, that it's odd that they'll be working together. And um and so it gives Anthony to the moment to talk about this, about what happened. Anthony begins to explain exactly what he said and that he did not bring up Russell at all, Russell and Kobe. But what he did explain is that he did say that it's odd that Brandon doesn't, that you're going to be working with him because with Christina, because Brandon doesn't rock with you. And this is what bothers me. Brandon goes and say, first he's like, well, see, he never said per se in front of him that this is not what he said. It's, I said what I said. He's like the whole, I'm not sure what I said. Whenever somebody says, I am not sure what I said, you said it. You just don't want to be called out on it. And then the next step is you want to, then it boils all the way down to saying, I may have said it, but you fabricated what I said. See, you didn't say that to Christina. And Christina's is making phone calls to people about what you claiming that you didn't say, and then you're making it believe she's looking like a fool standing out here protecting you because you know exactly what you said, and you didn't think that. And Anthony can't hold water. Anthony can't hold secrets. He's not in the business of holding secrets. He can't. He is the dude who can't tell a lie, because he is the dude who will end up telling on everybody in the world. Because when you put him under pressure, you ask him a question, I bet, you ask him two questions and he's going to tell everybody's story and everybody's tea because he can't hold water. So you trying to play the fence and trying to think that you're going to get over. And I have a problem with it. So when he's like, well, he fabricated, and then he changes the topic by going, well, look at what happened with the showcase. Well, what we're talking about is this incident. Wrap this incident up first, and then we'll talk about the showcase. And then he's doing this whole trigger with him saying, well, you don't know, we don't know what you do. And so then Anthony's getting real upset I do think that he's like, look, you haven't made any stars. And that when Brandon's like, what are you talking about? Big Sean came to us first. Okay. Now let's Google. Let's Google Big Sean start in hip hop. Okay. Big Sean as a 12-year-old rapper in Ward Off School in Detroit. So what year was this? And he's 22 now. So that was 10 years ago. So we're looking at, he really kind of started, I don't know. He was signed to Kanye West's Good Music. I don't know. You know, his name's nowhere in any of Big Sean's anything. And we're looking at 2010 and no, in 2005. Oh, he's not 22 years old. Because he was born in 1988. So this is 2005. And his debut album was released in 2011, I think. So I'm going to say, I don't see, he said Big Sean came to him first. Well, he's not put here. His name is nowhere in any of this. And I don't know, he met Kanye West in 2005 at a radio interview in 102.7 and Detroit. And we're going to declare that Big Sean was first. So, I mean, this is the star that you've created was Big Sean. Well, sir, 2005, we're looking at what, 18 years ago? Sir, what have you been doing for 18 years? If we give you credit for Big Sean, which Big Sean doesn't give you credit for Big Sean. So, which is not which happens in the music industry. So I'm not even going to put that on you. But I am going to ask you, if we're going to use Big Sean as your example, I think Anthony has a point. Anyway, Bravo makes a point. He's like, look, y'all look like two bad businessmen arguing over this. Y'all don't look good by this. And Bravo takes the blame for the fact that the showcase has moved on without Brandon because he was under the impression that Brandon and Anthony weren't talking, when in fact it was Brandon and Russell that wasn't talking. So he kept making decisions and just leaving Brandon out. Now that it's squared away, looks like things can move forward. They do hug it out. And Anthony's argument is this: if you're going to try to use our folks, and his friends, then he's going to be honest about how you feel about them, because he feels that it is his job to be honest with his friends. I actually don't see a problem with that framework. And then Brandon comes back around saying, well, if I said it, then it was out of context. Every time I hear when somebody says, if I said it, that means that you said it. The whole show ends with Kobe and Christina. Kobe's argument is that we can make a phone call. We didn't have to meet. And then she's like, look, you can't pick up the phone to talk to me, but somehow you're able to pick up the phone and talk to my husband. Be honest. I absolutely can 1,000% agree with Kobe on this. And she's like, don't call my husband. You never called him before. You're calling him to be messy. And you're calling him when we haven't even talked. We're not even on a good foot. So why would you even be calling him? And honestly, like I see her point. And Christina's like, she's supposed to drop everything to call Kobe, and everything's supposed to be all about Kobe. I'm sorry, ma'am. Which one's less convenient? Calling Kobe or sitting down to meet with Kobe at this moment? And if you can fit into your schedule a time to call her husband, why can't you fit into your schedule a time to call her? I'm confused. I'm so confused. Anyway, I still think the one saving grace on this show, because I said that I wasn't a big fan of the man, and I actually am not. The one saving grace on this show is that, unlike the other franchises, the thing I do like about the show, if I have to point out something about the men, they're much quicker to take responsibility for something than some of the other men on the other show. Like, they really do want to squash things in a hurry. And for that, I think that's commendable. With that being said, I'm done. Bye.